Hello champions and future champions, hello ChessMood family. Gabuzyan is here with you, and we are beginning our daily lesson. Today we have an interesting topic about opposite colored bishops. This position that you are seeing on the board, many players will say is drawish, equal, no chances for play for any of the sides. But in total it's not so much truthful. If we're taking a look at this position, we can see that both sides are equal on the pawns, but black has a passed pawn in the center, and this is their biggest downside since pawn is on the color of their own bishop. It's very much limiting this. White bishop is successfully blocking this pawn and can play on two sides of the board. On king side, white has pawn majority and good chances to play. I'm not saying this position is winning, but these kind of structures are wrongly considered as deadly drawish. White has some chances. In order to show this to you, let's go ahead and see the next example, which is having very similar pawn structure. Now we have the same pawns and same bishops. On top of this, queens on the board, and let's take a look at bishops one more time. White bishop blocks the opponent's passed pawn. This pawn is blocking bishop on the long diagonal. It cannot attack on our king. Bishop also participates on defense of our king on the queen side and will be one of the main attackers on opponent's king. And this blocker bishop is exponentially stronger than the other one. Using the power of this piece, now white goes h4, starting the attack. What's gonna be the picture? White pushes on the king side, black on the other one. But we're having an extra piece. All the time we have extra attacker, good defender. Meanwhile, black is having only a very limited bishop on g7. It was continued before h5 and black played b3. We don't want to open up position near to our king, and now white can bravely play a3. Even though c2 square is becoming vulnerable, there is bishop on d3 and it's very safely protecting this square. After rook f8, white captures on g6, pawn takes back, and going queen g5. Once again you can make sure bishop blocks the pawn and attacks on opponent's king very well. Black is basically playing without this piece. After moves like rook e6 and rook c1, white fights for the open line, and after exchanging the rooks has a great advantage. White wants to activate the rook, bishop can be used on the other line as well. Meanwhile, black is still staying very passive. So, these structures are wrongly considered to be very much equal. And for the side who has a great blocker bishop, there can be some interesting ideas. Let's go ahead and see another example. This one is from the game of two very strong chess players. Levon Aronian as white plays against Ponomarev Ruslan. And we have very similar structure. Now black has two pawns on the d file and bishop on c3. Very often we can say bishop on c3 is a good supporter of this pawn, keeping the passed one protected. Not at all. White bishop will be much stronger. At the moment, white would like to locate this bishop on d3. But before that, Aronian played bishop to e4. He is provoking d5. What's the idea? Queen on this long diagonal wasn't located that bad. And before going to d3, now white forced d5 move. After bishop d3, the diagonal is closed. What's the picture? Bishop block the pawns of opponent. Meanwhile, now white has 4 pawns versus 2 of opponent here. White is gonna slowly advance, weaken opponent's king side and gain a very nice game. It was continued g6, white plays f4. After queen f6, Aronian continued rook b1. Now he is gonna activate his rooks through the queen side open lines and push the pawns on the other side of the board. It happened rook e7, rook b5, rook d8, and rook fb1. In all these positions you can see bishop on d3 participates in the game. It blocks, it's supporting, often it prevents moves like rook e2, and black will not have any access to white king side. It's a good defender. Meanwhile, black bishop here is out of the game. It's only protecting this pawn, But as you can see, white even not tries to attack it. The goals are different. After moves, king g7, rook b7, rook d8, white eventually played f5. Now we're gonna exchange on g6, get 3 pawns versus 1 on the king side, and with these active pieces, later on Aronian managed to win this game. So we have seen several examples about the difference of the bishops, and blocker on d3 seems to be a very strong opposite colored bishop. Now let's go ahead and you will get a homework position for this topic. In this one, it's black to move, and I have a question. What's the next move of black? And as well, little long-term ideas. You can share your thoughts, how to play here in the comment section below. Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. See you next time during our next daily lessons.